What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got a pretty cool review of a knife that I very much was looking forward to getting. Asked around. There's a couple people kind of helped me out, mainly Mr. Eddie helped me get my hands on this in the secondary market. This is a really cool review I've been looking forward to doing for quite a while. Before I get all into it, I'd like to thank all my channel members, Patreon subscribers, everyone. Hey, hit the like button if you like the comment. It's right down there. Subscribe if you want more of it. You want to listen to me ramble on more about knives. I really appreciate it. Without further ado, this one here is the Knafs Lander 1, but this one is kind of a limited edition. Go into a little bit of the backstory here on this one. Knafs Knives, you know, of course, was Ben Peterson's project. He owns, not a project, a company now. You know, Ben Peters used to be on BladeWorks. Peterson, I'm sorry. And they have a storefront in Clearfield, Utah. They do a lot of work with the community. They put out videos. I watch their videos pretty much every week, Knafs Knives. If you're not subscribed to them on YouTube, do yourself a favor and check them out. There'll be a link down below. And this particular version I was pretty curious about. I saw the one that Mr. Eddie had, and I was like, man, if you could find one on the secondary and help me get my hands on it, I would absolutely love to own this little knife. Not like a high-end, super expensive knife by any means, but kind of got a lot of personal touches to it and a lot of little details about it. So going over a lot of the backstory on this one is the 21st anniversary of Opportunity Knafs Lander 1, dedicated to the Mars Opportunity rover. So the scales on it are 3D printed, just like a lot of Knafs scales are. They got that open source license where you can, you know, 3D print your own scales for it if you got a 3D printer. This is like a topographic map of the surface of Mars. It was designed in Vancouver, Canada by Randall West, and these are chroma scales that are on it. And this is a USA made Knafs knife. You can see there, Lander D2, got the Knafs logo on the front there, a little bit of jimping, a lot of details about it that are subtle and some not so subtle. Got the rover right there. And of course, one of my favorite things about this knife, this might be like the inner kid in me or something, but that is the final quote from the rover itself back to NASA when it was dying. That was the final transmission that it sent back home. And it says, "My battery's low and it's getting dark." I thought that was pretty cool, you know, overall a really neat knife. So I'm going to do my best to review this knife and review it as a Lander 1, but that is there's a lot of pretty cool little details tied into the Mars rover itself. So over 3 minutes in, let's go ahead and get into specs here. Minus the lanyard, if you go from the tip of the blade all the way to the end of the handle, you're looking at right at 6 3/8 of an inch overall length on this one. So what I would call like a small medium, the small size knife. 2 3/4, right at 2 3/4 if you go all the way back to the end of the blade where it meets the handle, and cutting edge on this one right at 2 5/8. So under 3 inches all the way around. Pretty good deal for anyone that's got some local knife laws. And these are also available in one form or fashion on his website. You know, you can get the Knafs Lander, of course, in a bunch of different versions, and you can get the Lander 2, Lander 3, whatever. A lot of different versions available on their website. 105 thousandths of an inch on the thickest part of the spine measurement there, and we'll go down to behind the edge. You're looking at 24.5 thousandths there. With these particular scales, you're looking at 438 thousandths of an inch, under half an inch on the handle thickness. Go ahead and get into the size comparisons. We'll get out the usual suspects here, the Rat, Ontario Knives, Rat Model 1, and Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. So smaller than both, closer to the Rat 2 in overall size, right? As far as cutting edge, the Rat 2's got a little bit more cutting edge, but not too much more than the Lander version 1. We get out the Cold Steel knives 8010 and the Demco knives 8020.5. That's a slicer version, so there you go, a little bit smaller than each of those. Spyderco knives Paramilitary 2 and your Spyderco knives Para 3, smaller than both yet again. Cutting edge though, looking at the cutting edge versus the Para 3, it's got a little bit more cutting edge than the Para 3, thanks to that generous forward choil that that's on the Para 3. Let's do it up against a couple of other Knafs designs here. The only two that I have are Civivis. These are Ben's designs. This is your Civivi baby banner, courtesy of the Ponds. Right, that's the Warncliffe version. And this is my Civivi baby banner. So definitely larger than the baby banner, which is what I would consider like a small size knife, almost micro maybe, I don't know. Sizes are, my definition of sizes on this channel are solid but fluid, so I mean anything over 8 inches is full size knife, anything over 8, 8 3/4, 9 inches or so large size knife. XL maybe, and under 8 inches is a medium, around 6 or so, under 6 definitely a small knife. So all that being said, let's go ahead and get a weight on this bad boy. Now, weight is not a factor at all in my opinion on this knife. Very lightweight, especially with those chroma. This is kind of like a FRM plastic type of scale. It feels really nice. I like the contouring on this particular print pattern. Let's say, I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd say maybe around 2.8 ounces or so. 2.2, I was way off. So even with the little lanyard bead, which is the same material, I think. Yeah, 2.2 ounces. So under the ounce and inch ratio, even being a small to medium sized knife. So that's a good thing. Let's take a look at it in pocket. Get out the old blue jeans here. Pocket clip works really well on this one. Pretty neat. Deep carry all the way. You got your lanyard bead sticking out. Of course, you can remove that if you want to. Probably my favorite part of the design, I guess, of the knife itself, a little bonus is that clip right there where it says my battery's low and it's getting dark. I think that's really cool. You can pull it out of pocket with the lanyard, open it up just fine. You can do one-handed opening, one-handed closing on that. No issues there. Let's go ahead and get out my other Knafs, my Knafs driver, right? So you got T6 in there right now. Let's check out these body screws. T6 on that, T6 on that, pocket clip T6, pocket clip T6, and I suspect you got a captive pivot. It looks a bit larger, so let's go with the T8. Yep, T8. All right, so wish the pivot screws would have been a little, T8 all the way around. That would have been cool, help you keep from stripping them out, but not really, other than that, not really any issues with the hardware. I do like that they did a captive pivot, and it's T8. So that's all the specs out of the way, size comparisons, all that stuff. Get down to the nitty gritty on it. My personal feelings on it, I really like this knife a lot. Ergonomically, I can get a full 4-finger grip on there. I wear a large size glove, have what I would consider average size hands, I guess, but in that position I can get a full 4-finger grip. Choked up, slide up just a little bit, choked up, which is pretty much how you're going to be handling it anyway. It's just fine. There's no cutout, there's no forward finger choil, but not really that much room to do that anyway, right? Overall, you got the way that it's built, pretty standard. You've got some milling on those liners kind of for weight reduction. Got some barrel spacers in there, a little bit of jimping up top. A little bit of jimping on these chroma scales right there, some jimping on that lock bar. Overall, not bad at all to deploy, to open, to close. You know, this is like the knife that I would walk the dog in, you know, if you're wearing gym shorts or, you know, going to the gym, something where you know, where weight actually matters that much. This is a good knife for that. So no issues there at all. Now, overall, I would like to thank Jennifer. It's Jennifer, yeah, Jennifer Easley from Knafs customer service. She sent me this whole big long story behind the knife itself, behind the Mars rover itself, and I thought that was pretty cool of her, you know, which is one of the only reasons I know a lot of the info that I know about the knife is she sent it to me. And you know, the fact that this is a USA made Knafs, I think that is pretty cool, you know, being as how it's homage to, you know, as they say, the incredible feat of humanity's drive for adventure and discovery. That's awesome. You know, Ben is seems to be a pretty awesome guy, and the company itself is really good. They do a lot of work with the community. They, as I said on their YouTube, they do kind of like an over a week in review type of thing where they do different sections, mail calls, stuff like that. I like to watch that every week. And yeah, so overall, I am going to put this on my most recommended knives playlist. This particular version, definitely. You can get these. I don't think these are available, these exact versions. The 21st anniversary of opportunity, you might be able to get them on the secondary market. But the Knafs Lander version 1, this one, is available in a lot of different forms and fashions on their website, knafs.com. You know, looking at it right here, they go as low as $45, so that's not bad at all. I think a lot of those are made in China, but they do a lot of work with their Chinese factory. Ben's very involved in that. So yeah, definitely a good little knife. Definitely recommended, and I really appreciate Mr. Eddie pointing it out to me that it was available on the secondary and giving me that opportunity to get my hands on it. And I appreciate everyone that's watching and all my subscribers. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe right down below if you want more of it. You want to listen to me ramble on more about knives. And I'll see you guys on the next one.